Okay, we're going to an episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. I have a really cool review for you guys from the brand SYE for Start Your Engine. They're a French micro brand bringing the concept of sport tailoring to your wrist with their use of fine leather, impeccable finish, exclusive style, and sharp design. Now, in terms of the type of watch, I'd consider this a sports watch. Some key characteristics and design, when you're looking for something within this genre, of course, you're going to want something that's tough, legible, and quite utilitarian. This is their Motion Automatic 24 in the Pebble colorway, and it's essentially their unique take on a stylish automotive-inspired sports watch with a tricked-out modular lug design, which I'm excited to share with you guys. In terms of the pricing on these, you can get them on strap for $754. I actually do have a strap I'll be demoing for you guys, and here on the stainless steel bracelet, you can actually get it cheaper, which is cool, for $698, and that's direct from the brand. So with all that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get this piece in hand, and take a closer look. Okay guys, so before we dive into the details here, which there are some nice details and finishing to show, well, you know, this side of the watch, although quite unique, the trick is here on the back side. Check that out. So essentially there is this plate and screw that you can undo with this, this really cool tool here. So this is going to be, proprietary hardware. And essentially you'll be able to unscrew the case back and then pop off these lugs. And you see there's some lug that's there, and there's a little, you can see a little line there, a crease, and that's where it's going to separate. And you actually kind of clip these in and get everything to sit flush. And you basically have what feels like a completely different watch. And it's nice, right? Like, this is actually a really nice, well-machined little piece of gear. And I can appreciate that. It's just something a little different. But on even just at face value, if you were just buy this watch without any of the other stuff, let's say it was just a typical integrated lug design, I still think they have quite an argument for just a cool watch in general, right? So some of the dimensions on here: 40.5 millimeters in diameter, 13.7 millimeters thick, so a little bit on the thicker side, but again, this back plate is removable, so they did have to have a certain amount of thickness for some of that. And also, this is the thicker Miyota movement. This isn't the super thin 9000 series. This is the 8000. It's the 8217 though, so it does have a hacking seconds hand, so that's nice. You can see. Sometimes when it comes to 8000 series, depending on what batch you get one that either hacks or doesn't hack. So it's nice to know that these ones are all using the newer ones that do hack. You're getting a 42-hour power reserve with a 3 hertz or 21,600 vibration per hour beat rate. So nice, it's pretty smooth there. Not as nice as a 4 hertz, but it's still fully mechanical and it's absolutely doing its thing. Getting to that case back, it is solid, of course, with that modular lug mounting system there. And then getting into the dial, it's this pretty cool warm gray dial with vertically brushed texture, and then you're also getting a nice date with some really nice sloped cutouts there, some good bevels to really just make that feel a bit more 3D, which kind of matches the sub dial there where it has that little slope step. So you got that at 3 o'clock, and then right across at the 9 o'clock, you're going to have that 24-hour sub dial, which is actually pretty useful, because now you kind of know 24-hour indicator, day, night, and also you're able to, if you are setting the watch, you know how close you are to accidentally flipping the date over, right? Because you'll know if you're in kind of AM or PM. So that's actually more useful than you think. And I think actually looking at the dial, it looks really, really good. Now you are going to get a loomed hour and minute hand here, and then a painted seconds hand and 24-hour hand on that sub dial. The water resistance is just 5 atmospheres or 50 meters, which is kind of all you need for a daily watch. It's not a diver. And then getting into here, you can see these integrated lugs that are modular. And then there's also this perforated strap option, which does have a nice deployant on it. And I do like the fact that they did go with the perforated style, because it does remind me of that kind of motorsports inspired look there. And you know, you even get the contrast stitching. This almost looks like something that you would see like on the inside of a nice little fun sports car. So I dig that. But since we are going to be kind of demoing this here, I guess we should get into some of these bracelet details. So this is a screw pin construction. It does have a nice 3-link, but they are fixed, so they're not fully articulated. It's basically a little Y-link there. And then you're going to see here semi-milled, because you are going to get a milled folding section, and then kind of pressed upper, nicely signed, push button, flip lock. So you have the push button lock, and then you have the flip lock there. All very nice and tidy. And it flows really well with the 3-link. And then another nice little surprise is you actually get a pressed diver's extension, which I think is very unique. So maybe you won't use it for diving. Maybe you'll use it to put it over, you know, instead of a wetsuit, maybe over a sweater cuff or something like that. If you want to take this for a spirited drive or something like that, you know, that fits more within the theme. Now, what we'll do is, since you know, nobody's ever seen this before, at least, you know, if you're watching this channel and and you haven't seen any other videos, you'll see that this, basically, we're going to align this here, if I can do it on camera. And let's see, can I get it to, there we go. If it's in, and then essentially I'm just going to turn it. And there you have it. Ooh. Okay, kind of got it going, and then I got it stopping. Okay, there aren't a lot of threads here, so it actually, yep, it's probably already out. You can see, very shallow. So that's all you need, though, which is nice. When it comes to here, so if I can get it to focus on that, I think that'd be cool. Okay, come on, there we go. Check that out. So just a few threads there, about 3 threads, and then you have the tool, and essentially now this back plate will come off. Ooh, there you go. And then there's this piece, so you can see that there. And I guess I'll try to measure the length. Let's see if I eyed it correctly. So maybe it might need to be a little bit longer. No, that seems like it might work, right? So what we'll do is we'll take this end, we'll line it up with the bottom side, and then we'll take this end, we'll line it up with the top, and there you go. Nicely enough, it kind of holds itself in place thanks to the springiness of the actual the shape, the form factor of the leather. And then we got to push that in, and then we're gonna place this down here. Probably can just hand tighten it, and of course there's little arrows to show lock versus unlock direction. But what I'll do is I'll open up the deployant here. Ooh. Ooh, okay, that was holding the pressure on there. So we'll push that back down. Okay, now it's just coming crazy loose again. All right, so this is maybe something that probably would have gone a lot smoother off camera, but you know what? I do want to show you guys how easy or difficult this could end up being. So I've only mounted the bracelet so far, but let's see how this goes. I don't have it completely pushed in, but yeah, it looks like it's, there you go, it's holding that. Okay, can I go any tighter than that? Of course, I don't want to over tighten it, but I do want to make sure everything is snapped in nicely. Let me give Crystal a quick little wipe here. All right, so now you have essentially a whole new watch, and even the dial color kind of pops in a really different way. And check that out, even the way the case flows feels a little bit different, right? Like, that's pretty darn cool. I'm digging that. It's different, but not different for no reason. It's different with a purpose. So we'll take this. Oh, yeah, maybe I'll loosen it one more, because this is still pretty stiff out of the box. All right, I do have a larger 7.5-inch wrist, so if you have a smaller wrist, this will probably work just fine for you. Oh, okay. Let me get this tucked in there because I'm down to the last couple holes. There we go. Okay, check that out. I don't know, it's kind of sleek. I dig that. I get what they mean by they're talking about that tailored appearance. This looks really immaculate on here. Let's go ahead, zoom the camera in, kind of tighten up the shot there so you guys can just get a truer aspect ratio without seeing the watch kind of bulk from any types of perspective distortion. You guys can see here, very clean. If anything, it almost appears small, and a lot of that has to do with the visual proportions and the visual weight of the stitching coming together in these lines. And yeah, that looks good. I'm digging that. I could totally see this with you know, a pair of driving gloves, you know, out on a canyon run. This would be really, really cool. You got that nice slope chaptering. The alignment on it doesn't look perfect. I don't know what the production pictures look like in terms of if it's supposed to have a slight offset to it, or maybe the unit I got is just slightly misaligned. But you know, at the end of the day, it's, you know, could be better, or unless they meant to do that on purpose, which we'll see whenever I get a chance to look at the site. Definitely something I'm sure you can bring up to them and reach out to them to confirm the QC on yours. But I think this looks pretty darn nice, guys. I'm digging that. Check that out. So with that said, let's actually get it off the wrist, set up for some Lume shots, a light transition, and closing thoughts. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the lights here. All right, so not a whole lot of Lume, as you guys can see. This isn't a dive watch. You know, again, this is more of just kind of a sporty daily wear. But one thing I always like to work in is a bit of a low light transition, because you're not always going to be out in the middle of a field enjoying direct sunlight. A lot of times you're going to find yourself coming in and out of buildings, walking underneath overhangs, or just hanging out underneath the shade of a tree. So it is nice to see what these colors, textures, and finishes render like in less than optimal lighting. They may even include a bit of harsh lighting, which typically could expose any types of production defects. But all you're going to see here is that dial, that vertical brush. You can see how playful it is. Check it out. When it's fully reflective, when it's fully just like dark, it almost makes the white text feel like it's floating. And wow, it really, that's a high amount of contrast. That is very, very cool. Of course, the brushing, the polishing looks quite nice here, and there's a good amount of light play. I think this pebble colorway is really cool with that dial. It just dances with the light, and you know, I like the pops of blue that really kind of pull everything together. So this is a pretty cool looking piece, guys. Big shout out to Start Your Engine for reaching out to see if I was interested to check this piece out. I don't have to return it, so that's nice. It saves me some return logistics while I'm in this kind of really busy filming schedule right now in the beginning of the year, with a lot pretty decent sized backlog of videos I'm bringing to you guys. So with that said, let's go ahead, get this going again, and let's talk about it. The cool thing is, one thing you're probably noticing is, look how much darker the dial looks just by being at a different offset and angle to the studio lights, right? That is pretty darn cool. Check this out. And we're here, you get that, then we're here, it's that. I don't know, there's something that's I'm really enjoying about that. I think that's just really cool. So closing thoughts, guys. On the wrist, definitely a touch tall, but still totally wearable. Thicker links may have balanced it out slightly better. So like, let's say the thickness themselves of these links, like if that was a little thicker, maybe they were thick and then they kind of tapered down. Thickness wise, not just width wise. I think width-wise they're fine, but I think thickness-wise maybe it would help kind of make the watch feel a little bit more balanced. That'd be some constructive criticism for future releases. Because I did feel like that was kind of the way it was for the leather, and it was a little bulky, and then at the top portions, and then it kind of thinned out, and I kind of liked the way that felt. So in terms of model variants, definitely check the site links for options and availability. And then in terms of comparable models, while, you know, not quite wild enough to be a true wildcard watch, it definitely does stand out against more mainstream contemporaries, you know, by feeling both more interesting and original. Like you're getting, even just the basic layout of the dial is a little different than what you're going to see with that nice 24-hour subdial and useful 24-hour subdial. So for me, guys, bottom line, I'd really love seeing brands take chances to do something different, but, you know, not just for the sake of being different, right? really executing a theme with a purpose in mind to achieve a complete original vision, right? I dig that. I like that they came with this idea of this modularity and this really tailored fitment in terms of integrating that bracelet, integrating that strap option into something that just feels very sleek and refined at not a huge amount of money, right? Under $800 and under $700 if you get it on the bracelet, which is probably the way I would go. Although, yeah, I don't know, there was something about that strap that was pretty cool too. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Which one did you prefer? But yeah, I think these are pretty cool. So again, a big shout out to SYE, or Start Your Engine. Yeah, guys, if you like the video, please do it like, and if you're already, please do subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.